Hi guys. Yes. We are back with another video. I know it's been a minute. It's been literally like a month, and I know I can do a better job at making sure that I'm posting a little bit more frequently. But anyway, yes, it is February 1st. Happy Black History Month. There is an initiative that I have going on in regards to like Black History Month and buying Black owned products and buying from Black businesses. That's the current initiative. So each week I'll be posting up on my Instagram various companies that I've utilized in like all my life that are Black owned. Alongside of once a week, I will be buying a product from a Black owned company. And so, yes, I will be sharing that through my Instagram stories or just posting it up on different platforms on Instagram and Facebook, either that being through a post or through a story. So, yes. We will be deep diving into that all of February, the month of February, and I support Black businesses, and so that's where I gravitate towards, and of course, with me being a Black woman business owner, it's very important for me to utilize my platforms as such, and to buy Black. So your girl was recently promoted to first lieutenant, and so yes. Today we are going to be going over some military things. That is our objective for today. I know I'll be doing product reviews in the near future, but today I feel like it is so important to go over some basic officers leadership course stuff. Because shout out to the folks that are leaving to or that have left to direct commission course or to the BOLC course. So super congratulations to you guys for actually getting there and doing that. This video is also for people who may have questions before going to BOLC or have questions while they're at BOLC. So I've gotten great feedback in regards to the videos that I have posted in the past few months about like military things and what to expect and how you should go about things. So we're going to deep dive into it. It's going to be a little lengthy, but we'll get through it. So, like I said, this video is about things that you should know about BOLC, which is Basic Officers Leadership Course. I am a 70 Bravo, hopefully going to become a 70 Hotel soon, which is essentially like project management, logistics, behind the scenes kind of thing for the 70 series, specifically 70 Hotel. There are several of things that you need to know. One of them being weapons. So you need to know that M4 and the M16. I'm talking about you need to know how to clear, you know how to do a functions check from beginning to end, and you have to do it within, I believe, a minute and a half. So try and be speedy with it. These are for the people that have yet to go to BOLC, and for those that are at BOLC, they will be able to tell you, yes, weapons training is super big. So when you go through, when you're out in the field and doing training out in the field, you have a week full of weapons. It's just all weapons. And so it's really important that you know how to put together and take apart the M4 and the M16, and also knowing the different parts of your weapon as well. Very important. Also, zeroing is a big deal. So if you're not really familiar with weapons, I would highly suggest that you do go to a gun range and practice. That is something that money can't buy really in the Army. Like, you really need to know the weapons. You need to know how to zero. You need to know how to, handle an M4 and an M16. And so highly recommend going to a gun range prior to your departure to BOLC or DCC or what have you. So yes, super important. I am not, I don't go to the gun range. I don't, I prior to the military, I did not touch a weapon like that. And so, or at all. And so, I was very new to this game. I was very new to it. And so, I had to learn it all from scratch from the Army. So just a heads up, you got to be prepared for that. Same with the pop-up shooting. So there's going to be pop-ups, and you'll go to that range for the pop-ups, 50 meters, 100 meters, 150, and so on and so forth. It goes deep. And so I did fairly well on the pop-up shooting, surprisingly. I did okay on the zeroing. I know that there are some things that I need to work on, but you have a whole week to be able to clear, to be able to zero, and to be able to do the pop-up shooting for your weapons. And so if you don't get it the first time or the first day, it's like, calm down. It's okay. You can get it the next day or the day after that. It's just calm down. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. I know some people, they were very, very kind of concerned in a sense about the shooting and not getting it on the first try. So it's just relax. It's going to be fine, honestly. So we also learned about MDMP, which is the military decision-making process. It's extensive. It's a lot. And I would definitely, say that you need to learn MDMP and TLP, so troop leadership procedures. Learn the MDMP and TLP, just the basics of it prior to going, but you're going to get an extensive amount of training on MDMP and an extensive amount of training on the TLP. So highly recommend that you guys learn that and learn what that looks like. We went through, so for the AMED training, for the AMED field training, that 72-hour operations that I was telling you guys about in the Colts, I would highly recommend that you learn what set lanes are, what role 1 is, what a Medivac, a Casevac is, Turner kit, what that looks like, the Osmani bandage, open wound bandage, learn what the role 2 is inclusive of as well. So I highly recommend learning all of those. So once again, I say this again, because you're going to be tested on a lot of this stuff, and I'm talking about hands-on testing. So I highly recommend learning MDMP, which is the military decision-making process. You have the troop leadership procedures, the TLP. You need to learn the set lanes and what that looks like, because you will be doing set lanes while you're there. Going over the role 1, you'll be going through that process as well. So learning that, learning Medivac and Casevac and the differences between those and what that looks like for you and your team. The Turner kit, the Osmani bandage, and open wound bandage, and also learning what the role 2 entails and what that looks like. I will say this though, for the people that are going in February, March timeframe, it is freezing. So the previous video that I did about like your toes like being cold and you being cold at night and everything, and we only went through that one day, you will be going through that. From my understanding and from what I've told, is that is an everyday situation where you're just cold. You are constantly cold, especially if you're out there during the winter time. And that goes for those folks that are at direct commission course as well. So if you're at direct commission course and you're at bullet course, you're going to essentially, you're going to be cold during the winter months. So I would highly recommend having winter weather gear, wet weather gear, having all of that with you. So that's just another tidbit that I'd like to share. Then we also have tests that are associated with the course. So you're going to have tests, like lots of tests. And I'm talking about like extra amount of tests, like lots of tests and quizzes and studying. So it's going to be high stress. So I highly recommend that people study. For some people, it's high stress. For some people, they do very well with taking tests. I am one of those high stress takers. And so I needed to make sure that I study. And you have to study on top of studying. And then you can retake it, but you got to continue to study. And so it's a lot. So with that, transitioning in, I would say do not work while you're there. So some people are like, oh, it's COVID, we get to be in our hotel rooms, I could work after hours for my job. Do not do that. Do and this is for the reservists. So do not like work your full-time job while you're there. Just don't do that, because you want to be focused and you want to be dialed into the course itself that you signed up for, and you want to put your best effort forward, right? And your best foot forward. And so I would not recommend working while you're there. I just don't feel like you should be working while you're there. You shouldn't. But some people, everyone has their own reasons as to why they want to work. It's just from my experience, I would say not to do it. Okay. Like I said, you need to make sure that you're bringing clothes appropriate for the time of the year. So if you're going in the winter months, make sure that you're bringing lots of jackets, lots of clothes, making sure that you bring your fleece. Like we couldn't wear our fleece sometimes we were allowed to. So bringing all of that stuff, gloves, your fleece, your fleece hat, like all of that stuff is super important. And so I would definitely highly recommend that you bring that stuff with you for BOLC and for DCC. It's so important. It's just, you don't want to be caught up out there. I would even suggest doubling up on your socks. Like that's how serious it is, because it's so cold. It's so cold. Another thing that I would highly recommend that people start to learn before they leave or while they're there is the 9-line Medivac request. Although you're going to learn that while you're there, it's nice to be able to know that before you get there, right? Just to have that basic knowledge. Also the alphanumerical and knowing how to pronounce certain things, knowing how to have specific diction for things. They will mark you off for not, or scold you in a sense, for not saying tree instead of three, or saying like four instead of fower. So you need to make sure that you utilize that terminology while you're there as well. Also disassembling and reassembling radios and the input of that information. So utilizing looking up various videos on YouTube to learn that information is ideal. It's super ideal. So I highly recommend that, for real, like honestly. There are different uniforms for the training site. So for the TTB, which is what they call the training site, I would highly recommend just making sure that you look sharp. Okay, patches need to be together, like they need to be on, like tight. Like you want to make sure that like your cap, your OCP is together. Like you want to look sharp, but also understanding that you are in a training site. So for the uniform as well, it is talking about full battle rattle. So you have your helmet with you, you have your weapon with you, you have your Kevlar, you have your vest, you have all of it. And it is like you are weighed down with weight on weight on weight while you're at the TTB. So just be aware of that and be prepared for that as well. You will have your flick, like you'll have 2 full canteens on you. It's a lot, but it's a part of it, right? So it's a part of it. Just know that your uniform for the TTB is going to be a lot. So just be prepared, mentally prepared. I'm telling you now so that you know. And I also suggest bringing your own canteens. They will provide you your canteens at CIF, but I didn't drink out of those. I left those at the hotel and I bought my own and filled those up. There are stories. I'm not going into that. Y'all can ask what those are. We do have after hours and we do have weekend fun. So like on the weekends, you're able to hang out with your friends when ROM is over. So when restricted movement is over, you're able to hang out with your friends on the weekends and just chill and hang out and cut up, but not cut up. So for COVID, we had restrictions. We couldn't go off base. So we had to stay on base. In previous BOLC classes, they were able to go to to City Walk or River Walk is what it's called. They were able to go to River Walk and they were able to explore and have fun and chill out on the weekends. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that due to COVID. And so, you're able to hang out, but we weren't able to leave base. I don't know what the rules are right now, but that's my story, is we couldn't get off base. There are recalls usually on the weekends, or like on a holiday or something. You will get a recall, so they just, they want to make sure that they're taking attendance and making sure all the soldiers are accounted for. So be prepared for recalls. We had to show up in our civilian clothes, but it was a recall, and it was like, okay, you have 10 minutes to get to the field, like that type of recall. And it's a quick formation, and a frago goes out, and you have to appear and you have to be there. Okay, that's that. COVID restrictions, we just couldn't leave base. And then the first 2 weeks we were on restricted movement, and so we couldn't be around one another and around our counterparts like that. We had to be in our room, and the cleaning ladies couldn't come the first 2 weeks either. So yeah, you're in your room and you're chilling for COVID restrictions. Like, that's how that works. And then also we had CQ duty. So the group before us that were transitioning out, they weren't in restricted movement, but we were. And so they were cutting up, like, it was a mess. So we ended up having to pull CQ duty just to make sure that people were following the rules. Essentially, you guys weren't out here just cutting up and acting up in these streets. And so we had to do CQ duty. I did it a couple of times, and it was an hour, or 2 hours. You were there for 2 hours, and you do CQ duty, you pull duty, and you just sit there and you take kind of attendance, you walk the halls and things. So I don't know if that's going to be implemented for this time or for groups further, but just being aware that CQ duty is a real life thing. I mean, those are the things that I have to say for BOLC. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a question in the comment section. I'm really good with responding back, whether that be in a text message or Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook, or just sending me a comment in the comment section, and I'll gladly respond to any of your questions. But I want to wish everyone good luck. If you are going to BOLC, or if you are in BOLC or DCC, good luck to you guys. You guys are going to do fantastic. You're going to do great. It's a lot of fun. But I also want to give a congratulations to those that have passed BOLC and got into that first lieutenant realm. So congratulations to you guys. Good luck on absolutely everything. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and to follow me on Instagram, and friend me on Facebook as well. Hope you guys have a great day. Good luck, everybody.